Hey guys, tonight we ride into a story that doesn't begin with a gunshot, but with a sketch. A little girl walks up to your cabin barefoot, silent, and carrying a folded piece of paper. When you open it, you don't see a portrait, you see a map. And the place it leads? No one alive should know it even exists. If you've ever felt like the land remembers things better than people do, if you've ever wondered whether stories choose us, not the other way around, then tonight's for you. Like and subscribe, but only if you truly enjoy what I do here. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is right now. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're sweeping the porch when you see her, no more than 10, maybe 8, dressed the color of wood smoke, hair in a single braid, feet bare, cheeks smudged with road dust and creek water. She doesn't say a word, just stands at the gate, watching. You lean your broom against the wall, take a slow step forward. Lost? She blinks once, shakes her head, then reaches into a canvas pouch, pulls out a paper, folded clean, sharp at the corners. She walks up, doesn't flinch, hands it to you like she's returning something that was always yours, then turns, walks back down the trail, not in a hurry, like her part is done. You unfold the paper. It's a map, drawn in charcoal and pencil in something that looks like rust. But it's not any map you've seen printed. It's your land. Down to the crooked fence post near the creek, the outline of your barn, the water trough you replaced last year, and there, in the lower corner, something that shouldn't be there. A circle of stone, 5 dots around it, one line crossing through the middle. You know what it is, because you saw it once, behind your great-uncle's grave, on the day they almost buried him in the wrong spot. The old cemetery, no markers now, just dry grass and memory. No one's drawn it in over 50 years. You sit on the porch step, stare at the paper, then look out at the land again. Like maybe it's changed while you weren't watching. The wind picks up, carries the sound of bird song, then cuts it off mid-note. Something about the silence that follows feels known. You walk to the cemetery before sundown. You haven't been back there since the flood took out the trail last spring. The map leads you straight. Every bend, every old route. And when you get there, you stop. Because the stones, the ones they said were taken by floodwater, they're there, stacked, uneven, reassembled. And right in the center, another piece of paper, pinned under a flat rock. You kneel. It's the same hand, same strokes, a different place. This one shows a cabin, not yours. You recognize it anyway. It burned when you were 5. Your father told you it was lightning. Your grandmother said it wasn't. She said it was punishment. You take both drawings home, set them on the kitchen table, light a lamp, and pull out the one thing you've never let yourself open fully, the box. Clay. Twine. Latch rusted but unbroken. You open it. Inside, a letter from your father. You read it for the 5th time in your life. Still don't understand half of it. Something about the girl, the unfinished ledger, the names we don't say. But now, you think maybe she's come again. Not your grandmother, not your guilt. Her, the one who draws. You go back outside, look down the trail, nothing. Then, a sound. Paper rustling. You follow it. A sheet tacked to your barn door, this time a single word. Return. Below it, your name. The one you haven't heard spoken out loud since your mother died. Not the name on your license, the one on your father's first ledger, the one you were supposed to bury, but didn't. You wake with the sun in your eyes and the map still on the table. The lines haven't changed. But something about the paper feels heavier, as if it gathered meaning overnight. You touch your name, drawn in the corner, like a whisper no one was meant to see. It's not the version folks in town use. It's older, family only. The name your father used when he was tired or drunk or honest. No one alive should know it, except you. And maybe the girl who vanished back down the trail after giving you a memory you hadn't earned yet. You wrap the maps in oilcloth, put on your coat, the one with the stitching your grandmother taught you to mend, and walk. Not toward the town, not toward the bluff. You follow the line she drew, north to the orchard that no longer bears fruit. It used to be a place where the family gathered, before the land dried up, before your uncle left, before the stories got short and sharp and too quiet. The trail bends hard near a cedar with 3 trunks. On its bark, scratched deep but fresh, is the same word you saw last night, return. But this time it's in your own handwriting. You stumble back. Look again. It is your hand, from your childhood, from the summer after your mother died, when you carved her name into the same bark but were too ashamed to finish the letters. You run a finger across the grooves, smooth, familiar. She shouldn't know this, not the girl, not anyone. You keep walking. Half a mile farther, you find the second paper, folded, weighed down with a fossil, petrified wood, flat and heavy. You unfold it. A building, octagonal, no windows, 1 door, marked with a circle and 2 slashes through the center. You've never seen it before. But your stomach twists anyway, because your father used to wake screaming about the 8 walls and the door they never sealed. You thought it was nonsense, but here it is, on paper. Drawn by a girl who shouldn't know your bloodline from the dust she walked in on. You fold it, pocket it, and head home, half expecting the house to be different when you return. It is. There's another map tacked to the barn. This one isn't of land. It's of people. 5 stick figures, each with a name beneath. 1 is yours. 1 is your father's. 1 is your great-aunt's, the one they said drowned but was buried without a death record. The other 2, unknown. But 1 has the same braid as the girl. And the 5th is holding something round, a ring, a compass, a bullet? You don't know yet. Inside, your fireplace crackles low. The house smells like damp and burnt paper. You check the stove, nothing inside. You check the windows, no signs of forced entry. But on your writing desk, the ledger is open. Clay's ledger, the one that was locked in a chest since the day your father died. Open now. And on the page, a single word, remember, written in a child's hand. Underneath it, the symbol from the octagonal house. You sit, slow, touch the ink, still wet, but there's no one here. You're sure. You stay awake that night, listening, not for footsteps, not for coyotes, but for pages turning in the dark. They don't come. What comes is worse. Your own voice, repeating a name you haven't said aloud in decades. Her name, your mother's sister, the one who disappeared the night the cabin burned. They never found her, just her boots and her ring, half melted, worn smooth. They said it was an accident, but your father never believed that. Now neither do you, because when you wake near dawn, the ring is on the kitchen table. Same cut, same twist, same crack through the band, sitting on another drawing of your childhood home before the fire, with a red X through the back door, a door that never opened again until now. You hold the ring in your palm for a long time. It's heavier than it should be. You turn it, studying the crack, the old soot line, the faint etching still visible on the inside of the band. The letters are worn, but you can still make them out. Me, your aunt's initials, Maybelline Esther. The girl, they said, wandered into a storm and never came back. But that wasn't true. Not if this ring is real. Not if someone left it on your table last night. You reach for the drawing underneath. It's detailed, too detailed. Your childhood home, exact dimensions, down to the slope of the porch roof and the knot in the back step. But the strange part is what isn't there. The barn, the chicken pen, the cottonwood tree, all missing. And the trail, drawn in a loop, over and over. No end. You ride out mid-morning, no destination, just movement, the kind that keeps your thoughts quiet and the ghosts at your shoulder. You carry the ring in your breast pocket, the drawings folded in oilskin under the saddle. You ride past the creek, the dry bed of what used to be Thorn Hollow. And then, without thinking, you turn east toward the ridge. You haven't been there since your father's funeral. The path is overgrown, but your horse remembers it. Or maybe you do. Your body shifts into the memory, the sway of the trail, the turn near the cedar split by lightning, the gap in the fence still missing 2 rails. You dismount near the old mining claim, the one your great-grandfather sealed after the cave-in. No one spoke of it again. But here you are. And there, on the edge of a collapsed shaft, is another drawing. Pinned under a rusted horseshoe, you kneel, pull it free. This one is simple, a hand, open. Inside the palm, 5 marks, 4 vertical, 1 crossing. You know this, you've seen it before. Burned into the base of a lantern in your father's war chest. You never knew what it meant, until now. You ride home before dark, find your cabin door cracked open. You step in, rifle ready. But no one's there, just a trail of small footprints, dusted in ash. They lead to the hearth. And at the center of the rug, another drawing. This one's of you, not as a child, as you are now. Standing at the ridge, the shaft behind you, and above your head, those same 5 lines. You sink into a chair, let the rifle slide to the floor. The paper trembles in your hands. You whisper, "What are you trying to show me?" The fire answers with a pop, then silence. But it's not empty. It's waiting. That night, sleep comes late and light. You wake twice, once from a dream where the girl stands in your childhood kitchen, pointing at the wall behind the stove. The second time you wake to the sound of writing. Scratch, pause, scratch again. You sit up, no one there, just the candle burned down to a stub, and the ledger on your desk. Open again. A new word appears. Door. You close it, heart pounding. But not from fear, from recognition. You spend the next morning searching the house. You've lived here over 20 years. You know every inch. But still you find something. Behind the kitchen stove, where the stone meets timber, is a seam you never noticed. You chip away the edge, and there, folded in oilcloth, tucked into the hollow, lies a journal, faded red leather, stamped with your grandfather's initials. You open the cover, inside, for the one who wakes the map. You don't move for a long time, then you begin to read, and the house around you, the air itself, begins to shift, because this isn't just a journal. It's a record. And you're not the first to hold the ring, you're just the first to come back. The leather smells like smoke and time. You open the journal with slow fingers, tracing the old ink, as though the words might flake away if you breathe too hard. The handwriting is small, neat, deliberate. It isn't your grandfather's voice, not at first. The opening pages sound like someone else entirely, formal, distant. But a few pages in, the sentences shift, the tone softens. And then comes a line that stops you cold. She started drawing again today, just like Esther did, before she disappeared. You read it twice, then a third time. There's no name, no date. But the page is marked with a tiny sketch of a circle with 5 notches around it. You flip ahead, more entries, scattered across years, decades maybe. Some talk of land trades, others mention men with no faces but recognizable hats, and every few pages, without fail, there's a mention of a child, a girl, sometimes called the Watcher, other times the one who carries. Always alone, always drawing, always showing up where she shouldn't know how, and always someone disappears after she leaves. You close the journal, let it sit on your knees as you stare out the window. Nothing stirs. The girl hasn't come back, but the feeling has. That heavy pressure in the chest, like someone's watching with sorrow, not anger, like someone wants you to finish something. You walk to the ridge again, alone, no rifle, no maps, just the ring in your pocket and the journal under your arm. You stop at the collapsed shaft and kneel. Pull back the brush, the loose stone. This time you see it, a metal plate, faintly stamped, mostly rust. Blackwell 7, a mine shaft, sealed before your father was born. You'd heard of it, barely. A story your great-aunt mumbled once before the morphine took her memory for good. You never thought it was real, but the plate is real. And behind it, another paper, pressed under the edge. You pull it free. It's not drawn by a child this time, it's your handwriting. And not from now. You remember it. You drew it when you were 12. The summer you were sent to live with your cousin after the fire, a cabin, a door, a ring of trees. You never showed it to anyone. You found it years later, tucked inside your copy of the good book, and burned it, or thought you did. Yet here it is, identical. Except this version has a figure standing by the trees, holding a lantern, and at their feet, your name, scrawled in looping pencil, "Come back." You return home at dusk. Your boots carry dust you've never tasted before. The air in the house feels colder, as if someone opened a window to a place you forgot existed. The journal is still on the table, but beside it now, another map, unfolded, fresh. This one is different. A floor plan of your house, every room, every corner, even the loose board behind the stairs. And in the pantry, an X. You move slow, step by step. Open the pantry door. There's nothing at first, just jars, root vegetables, a broom. But the girl's drawing never lies. You push aside the shelves, feel along the wall, and there, behind a panel you've never noticed before, is a narrow gap. You wedge your fingers in, pull. The wood groans, gives, revealing a hollow cavity. Inside, a cloth-wrapped bundle, heavy. You unwrap it on the floor. Inside are 5 items: a rusted compass, needle frozen north, a small journal, different from the one on the table, a photograph of 3 children. One of them is you. A silver pendant engraved with the Blackwell seal and a brass key marked "Me." You hold the photograph close. You don't remember it being taken, but you remember the shirt you're wearing in it. It was burned the day after your cousin vanished. The cousin no one spoke of again, the cousin named Esther. You don't sleep that night. You sit on the floor beside the bundle, read the second journal until your eyes blur. It's hers, Esther's. Scrawled, unsure, frantic at times, she talks about waking with drawings on her hands, about dreams filled with rooms she never walked, about a ring that never left her finger, even when she tried to bury it. The last page reads, "I thought I was the last, but I'm not. If you find this, I'm sorry, but you were always meant to come back. You are the map." You hold her journal in both hands, like it might disappear if you blink too long. The ink on that last page is smeared, but not from water. It looks like it bled from her fingers. You read the line again. You are the map. It doesn't make sense. But deep down, it does. Not the way logic understands, the way memory does. You spend the morning laying the items out in a careful circle: the compass, the pendant, the key, the photo. Both journals. You place the ring in the center. You sit beside it, back against the pantry wall, and stare. You think of your aunt, of your father, of the girl, of the dream. You think of that door she drew with the red X, and what's waiting behind it. You don't know what you're supposed to do, so you do the one thing no one else ever did. You speak her name out loud. Esther. The floor creaks. Somewhere deep in the house, something shifts. You wait. Nothing follows. But something feels different, like the house just exhaled after holding its breath for decades. Later, you take the compass outside, set it on the stump where your father used to split kindling. The needle doesn't move, still frozen north. But when you place the Blackwell pendant beside it, it trembles, not spins, trembles. Then shifts 1 degree west. You pick it up, hold it in your palm. It pulls toward the bluff, not hard, just enough. You gather the items, pack them in the canvas satchel you haven't touched since the last burial, the one where no body was recovered. You ride before sunset, take the trail that veers left at the burnt cottonwood. The wind carries a stillness behind it that feels less like silence and more like permission. You follow the compass needle. It quivers each time you hesitate, straightens when you turn toward the place you never meant to go back to. The mine. Blackwell 7. It takes 2 hours to find the ridge, another 20 minutes to find the door, not the entrance shaft. That's caved in long ago. This door is built into the rock face itself. Square frame, reinforced edges, rusted metal latch. At its center, 5 notches, matching the hand drawing. matching the mark in the ledger, and just above it a circle carved into the stone, not drawn, cut, like someone meant for it to last longer than memory. You kneel, pull the key from your bag. Me. The brass is tarnished, but the teeth are clean. You slide it into the side of the door. It fits. You hesitate. Turn it. It clicks once. Then again. Then a deep grinding from inside the stone. The door doesn't open, but it moves, slides an inch inward. Just enough to see the edge of a second door, wooden, with a burn mark at its center. You reach out, push. It swings open with a sigh. Cold air floods out, and with it a scent. Cedar, dust, ink, and something older. You strike a match, step inside. The chamber is round, low ceiling, stone walls, wooden beams cross-hatched to form an octagon. You count them. 8, just like the drawing. The air inside is dry, preserved. At the center, a table. On it, more drawings, dozens, all folded, labeled, some dated. Others marked only with symbols. You pick one up. It's the house. Not as it is now, as it was before the fire, as it was when you were 5. And in the window, your face, staring out, drawn with a detail that makes your hands shake. You open another. It's the mine, from above, from before. Paths, trails, marks, circles within circles, and your name. Written small in the bottom corner twice, once in pencil, once in ash. You stagger back, set the paper down. Look around the chamber. There's no dust, no rat droppings, no signs of age. As if someone left only hours ago. You check your watch. It's stopped. You don't remember winding it. You sit at the table, place both journals side by side, add yours to the pile, then open your ledger and start a new page. Day 1. The return of the map keeper. Because the drawings weren't just memories, they were instructions, and the instructions weren't just warnings, they were invitations to a truth no one wanted carried forward. Until now. You sleep underground that night, not because you're trapped, but because you don't want to leave. Not yet. There's something about the air in this place, how it holds still, how it waits. Like the cave itself, remembers why it was sealed. You lie beside the table, wrapped in your coat, the drawings spread out around you like a paper-thin quilt of the past. Some show places long vanished, mills, houses, a church you swear never existed. Others show faces. One catches your breath. A girl. Braided hair, smudged cheek, bare feet, drawn in charcoal with an attention to detail that makes your chest ache. You flip the page. On the back, a single word, written in the same hand from the drawings before. Watcher? You wake at dawn with dust in your throat and the map in your lap. You fold it carefully, tuck it with the others. Then you gather your ledger, the journals, and the compass. As you leave, you run your hand along the door frame. There's a mark you didn't see before. Your initials, carved in a style you haven't used since you were 16. You didn't do this, but someone did, someone who knew you'd come. You step outside. Light pierces the ridge in sharp blades. The wind has picked up, but it's not cold. It feels expectant. You return home slowly. Every bend in the trail feels familiar now, not like memory, but like prophecy fulfilled. The house is just as you left it, but on the table, a fresh drawing, folded, pinned under the compass. You unfold it, and for a moment your knees nearly give out. It's the chamber you just left, but not empty. In the center, someone is seated at the table, writing, and it's you. You touch your own face, the line of the jaw, the mark near the eye. It's too exact. Drawn not from imagination, but from presence. Someone watched you last night and left this behind to let you know. You boil coffee with a steady hand. River would have called this a sign if he were still around. But River's been gone 10 years, buried without ledger or stone, and yet this drawing feels like his. You remember his sketches? How he used to draw things before they happened? You thought it was just a child's fantasy. Now you're not so sure. The girl hasn't come back. But her silence lingers, in the corners of the house, in the way the wind creaks the roofline, in the smell of ink that shouldn't be there. You sit by the window and watch the trail. No movement, but you're not waiting anymore. You're listening. That night you pull out the family Bible, not to pray, to search. Inside the back cover, in your father's penciled scrawl, is a short phrase. When the watcher returns, open the box beneath the cedar root. You never knew what that meant, but the cedar root still stands behind the barn, half swallowed by weeds and ants. You dig before the light fades. 4 feet down, you hit something hard. A box. Tin. Rusted nearly through. You lift it out. Open it with a knife. Inside, a note, a chain, and a key. The note reads, "If she starts drawing again, don't run. Follow." The chain holds a pendant you recognize. The same symbol as the octagonal door. The key is small, brass. Same teeth as the one from the cave, but marked with 3 initials. RFM. You freeze. River, Feather, Mitchell. You sit back on your heels, the dirt warm under your palms. They weren't just keeping records. They were mapping bloodlines, through symbols, through hands, through stories. You stare up at the sky. There are no clouds, but thunder rolls anyway, as if something's coming or already arrived. Back inside, you set the pendant beside the compass. They hum when they touch. Not loud, but enough. Enough to know this isn't over, that you've opened something no one alive remembers how to close. And whatever it is, it's watching now, from the trees, from the wind, maybe even from your own blood. You sit at the table long after the fire dies. The pendant, compass, and key lie before you like offerings on an altar. You don't touch them, you wait, because you've learned something out here. Sometimes silence is a kind of language, and the land always speaks first, when it's ready. At dawn, you take the pendant and ride to the overlook where your father used to sit when he didn't want to talk. The trail is washed out in parts, swallowed by weeds and the weight of years. But the horse remembers. Or maybe the ridge remembers you. You reach the crest just as the sun crests the horizon, burning low through morning haze. There, carved into the rock with a blunt knife or stubborn nail. Still watching. The same words, River, carved into your porch rail before he left. No one ever erased them. You just stopped looking. You sit. Pull out the pendant. It swings in the wind, heavy with something you can't name. Memory, maybe, or warning. You open your ledger. Write a single line. The maps aren't paper, they're people. You don't know what made you write it, but once you do, it feels right. True in a way facts never are. You return home to find a package on your porch, wrapped in oilcloth, sealed with wax, no sender, no prints. Inside, a bundle of letters, stamped with your family's name, marked undeliverable, returned. You recognize the handwriting. Esther's. You remember her crooked lowercase a, the way she looped her Y's. She must have sent these after she vanished, but why are they coming back now? You spread them across the table, all unopened. One addressed to River, one to your father, one to you. You open yours last. It's short. You were always the one meant to finish it. I only carried it as long as I could. The rest is yours now. Don't forget the root door. You read it 3 times. Then you understand. The pendant isn't a memory. It's a key, but not to a lock, to a place. You ride west toward the hills that used to mark the edge of your great-grandfather's claim. The land flattens, then folds inward. A small canyon, once shallow, now deeper than you remember. At its mouth, a cedar. Bent in the middle, like an old man too proud to kneel. You dismount. Circle it once, then kneel at the roots. The earth here is soft. Not disturbed recently, but expectant. You dig. With bare hands, fingers scrape wood. Not a box, a door, rounded edge, old hinges, no handle. But at its center, a shallow notch, just big enough for a pendant. You press it in, feel a click, then stillness. You pull back. The earth shifts, the door rises, half an inch, enough to grip. You lift. It groans, opens. Darkness yawns beneath. Stairs descend into a place with no scent, not dirt, not mold, just absence. You light your lantern, step down. The walls are lined with drawings, some paper, some carved, some you've seen. Others, not yet. But they feel familiar, like dreams you forgot too early. At the far end, a table, empty, waiting. You open your ledger, set it down. Write day 14. The door opened when I remembered her name. You don't know what else waits down here, but you know you're not leaving until it's finished, whatever it is, because the drawings weren't stories, they were blueprints. And the girl wasn't just a messenger. She was the last one before you, the one who bought you time. Now the time is yours, and the map? It's unfolding under your feet. The root cellar isn't a cellar, it's a vault, cut straight into the limestone beneath your family's land. You walk slowly. The lantern throws flickering shadows across walls that breathe stories, drawings, dozens of them. Each one pressed flat to the stone, tacked with rusted nails or stitched into leather wraps and nailed to the beams. They vary in age. Some look recent, some look prehistoric, all of them, familiar. You recognize the lines before the scenes, like someone with your same hand drew them while you were sleeping, like a dream you inherited, or one that never belonged to you in the first place. At the end of the corridor, the hallway splits. Left, stairs, choked with roots. Right, an open room, lit faintly by the breath of your lantern. You step inside. It's round, wood-planked floor, one chair, a desk carved into the wall itself, and at its center, a mirror. But not like any mirror you've seen. It's copper-backed, hand-ground, dark and clouded. Your reflection shows only partial, skewed. A child's silhouette appears behind you. You turn. No one there. You look again. Just you. And in your hand, not the lantern, the ring. You don't remember pulling it from your pocket, but there it is, glinting soft gold in the firelight. You sit. The chair creaks, familiar. Carved into the armrest, RFM. You've seen those initials before. The journal, the map, the box. They keep coming back. You touch the desk. There's a groove. You trace it. It outlines a perfect circle, same size as the pendant. You pull it from your pouch, fit it in. The desk releases with a soft pop. A drawer opens. Inside, a map, but not of land, of people. A tree, not a family tree, a watcher's tree, circles, names, arrows. The girl is there. So is Esther. Your name appears in red ink, circled twice. Beside it, another name, Evelyn. You whisper it. It tastes like ash and honey, a name you haven't said in 20 years, because she asked you not to, because she disappeared too. You take the map, fold it carefully. Then something shifts beneath your feet. You brace. But it's not an earthquake. It's rhythm, a thrum, like a heartbeat coming from under the floorboards. You kneel, ear to wood. It's faint, but steady, alive. You whisper, "Is someone there?" Nothing. Then a sound behind you, paper fluttering. You turn. A single sheet lies on the desk, not yours, drawn fresh, still damp. A face, the girl's, eyes closed, mouth open slightly, like she's sleeping, or speaking. Beneath it, "You carry me now." You sit again, quiet, let the lantern burn low. Then write, "I didn't come looking for ghosts, but they came looking for me, and maybe they always do, when they know we're almost ready to listen." You press the map to your chest, close your eyes, and for the first time since the ring reappeared, you feel less alone, not safe, not certain, but chosen, not by name, by need. And the need is still calling, from somewhere deeper. You return to the surface just after sunrise. The ground feels different beneath your boots now, not because it's shifted, but because you have. The house is quiet when you step back inside, still, expectant. You place the drawings on the table one by one, the girl, the tree, the face in the mirror. You spread them out like cards in a game you were never taught the rules for. Then, without meaning to, you say her name again. Evelyn. The wind stirs, no open windows, no breeze, but you feel it. Something moves behind you, not footsteps, a weight, a presence. You turn. The porch is empty. But on the doorframe, a new mark, freshly carved, same shape as before, circle, 5 notches, and a line through the middle. Only now there's something added, a 6th mark. You run your fingers over it. It's not familiar, but it's waiting, like a seat pulled out at a table already set. That evening the letter arrives, folded into 4ths, tied with twine, no address, no postage, just your name, the name they used, the one you only ever heard from your grandfather when he was angry or scared. You open it with care. Inside, a single sentence. They are gathering again, beneath the red stone. Bring what was never yours. There's no signature. But someone has drawn the symbol at the bottom, this time burned in. You gather what you can, the compass, the pendant, the drawings. You leave the ledger behind. You don't lock the door. You ride fast, faster than you have in years. You take the North Trail, where the grass still remembers wagon wheels. You pass the hollow where your father buried his secrets in tin boxes no one ever claimed. You reach the red stone near dusk. It juts from the hill like a broken tooth. There's already someone waiting, a woman, hooded, small. She doesn't speak, just extends a hand. You give her the bundle. She doesn't open it. She nods once, then vanishes into the brush like she was never there. You stay, because something tells you the real meeting hasn't started yet. Minutes pass. Then 2 more figures emerge. One carries a lantern, one carries a child. The child has no shoes. You recognize her, even though you've never seen her in life. She's the girl from the drawings, but older, thinner, tired, still watching. The woman sets her down. The lantern-bearer speaks. You're the only one who ever came alone. You nod. He continues. That's how we knew you were ready. You open your mouth, close it, then ask, what now? He gestures to the red stone, points to the base. You open it. You kneel, feel along the cracks. There, hidden under dirt and time, is a brass hinge. You press the center. It shifts. The stone lifts, revealing a hollow space beneath. Inside, another ring. This one iron, cracked, engraved with initials you've never seen, and a ledger, not leather, not ink, etched into thin sheets of metal, burnished smooth. You lift one, the name at the top, Evelyn River Blackwell. You read it again. Then you understand. She didn't disappear. She became the keeper. And now? She's handing it to you. You don't sleep that night. You sit cross-legged in the dirt, the metal ledger across your lap, the girl curled beside you, silent. The others have gone, vanished like they came, without sound, without trail. The only thing left is the ring. Iron, split, still warm somehow. You hold it gently. It doesn't feel like jewelry. It feels like a key. You glance at the child beside you. She sleeps, but not restfully. Her hands twitch. One of them clenches around something invisible. You almost reach to unfold her fingers, but you stop. Some things are carried for a reason, and some are passed only when the next person is ready. You wait. By morning, you've read 4 of the metal pages. They aren't lists. They're stories. Cut into the surface with tools so fine, the letters shimmer in the light. The first is Evelyn's voice. She writes of silence, of being watched, of drawing maps in dirt when paper ran out, of being told she was the last, but never believing it. One line sticks with you. If you're reading this, it means someone lied to me, and thank God they did. You close the ledger, feel the weight settle in your chest, not like a burden, like a center, like gravity. You return to the house just before noon. The portage is as you left it, except now the chair has been turned to face the ridge, and on the seat, a sketch, still drying, your silhouette. Bent over the red stone, one hand holding a ring, the other holding the girl's. You blink. Step closer. On the back of the paper, she is yours now, not to own, to shelter. You fold the sketch carefully, place it beside the ledger. The girl stands in the doorway, her braid loose. She says nothing, just waits. You say, "Come in." She crosses the threshold without hesitation, like she's done it before. Maybe she has. Over the next 3 days, she doesn't speak, but she draws. Always early, always alone. Maps, symbols, faces. You recognize some. Others make your skin prickle. One night, she hands you a drawing. It's the inside of your house, not as it is, as it was. Before you rebuilt the roof, before you replaced the floorboards, before the fire. She points to a square in the corner. You lift the rug. Beneath it, a panel you've never seen. You pry it open. Inside, a box, wooden, warped, bound in iron. You lift it out with shaking hands. Inside, letters, hundreds, addressed to no one, signed the same way. ERB, you sort them. Some are apologies, some are warnings, some are just stories. Fragments. But one catches your eye, because it's written to you, long before you were born, before you were even imagined. You won't remember me, but I remember what comes after you. When you stand where I once stood, don't dig for answers. Listen for them. The girl stands behind you now. You don't know how long she's been there. She takes the letter from your hand, folds it again, then slides it into the fire. You don't stop her, because somehow you know that letter wasn't meant to be read twice. You sit together on the porch that night. She rests her head on your arm. The wind rises across the ridge, carries the scent of ash and ink and rain not yet fallen. You whisper, "Is it over?" The girl doesn't answer, but you feel her hand tighten around yours, not in fear, in promise, because something tells you the silence you're hearing now, it isn't empty, it's sacred, and tomorrow she'll draw something new and you'll follow, because whatever this is, it chose you both. You wake before her. She sleeps without tension now, curled beneath the quilt your mother made from old shirts and flour sacks. You watch her breathe for a while. There's something strange about that, watching a child sleep who doesn't carry your name or your blood, but somehow carries your purpose. You rise, make coffee. The old kind, boiled black and bitter, just the way your grandfather drank it when no one was watching. You pour a cup, then unfold the ledger again. Not the old one, yours. And on the next page, you begin writing. The girl has stopped drawing buildings. Now she draws what's underneath them. You pause, stare at the ink, wonder where this ends, or if it should. By midday, she draws again. This time she shows you first. It's a slope, a wide valley, a shallow river, and something beneath the soil, lines, shapes, symbols buried under tree roots and stone. At the center, the mark. The circle with 5 notches, and a new one, a 6th, longer, sharper, cutting through the middle like a blade. You trace it. Ask her, "What does this mean?" She doesn't answer, but she taps the edge of the page in tiny letters, not a place, a choice. You sit back. Let that settle. It's not about where you go. It's about what you choose to carry there. That evening, a knock, not hard, not rushed. You open the door, a man stands there, thin, weathered, one boot taller than the other. He removes his hat, nods once. "You kept it going," he says. You don't recognize him, but his voice is familiar. Something from your youth, from before the fire. You say, "I didn't know there was anything left to keep." He smiles, crooked. There always is, if someone doesn't mind bleeding a little. You step aside, let him in. He sits at the table. His eyes scan the room like someone returning to a place they never lived in, but dreamed of often. Then he sees the girl. She steps forward, offers him a drawing. He unfolds it. It's a map of a place he hasn't been yet. He nods. Then it's time. You don't ask where, you don't ask who sent him, because you know. Some stories are relayed through hands, not mouths, passed through scars and line work, not speech. They leave at dawn. He walks. She rides your horse, the one that always came back. You watch them go until the dust settles, then return inside. Sit down. Pick up your pen. Write. She didn't stay, because she wasn't meant to. She wasn't here to be saved. She was here to teach me how to carry the fire and let it go. You close the ledger, stack the drawings, fold the letter you never got to send, place it all inside the box beneath the floorboards, then you seal it, not with nails, with silence. The house creaks like it remembers her. Outside the wind rises, the sound of hooves in the far distance. You smile, let the fire die down, and whisper to no one. She'll draw her own trail now, and maybe one day someone else will follow. The days after she leaves feel longer, not emptier, just stretched. Like the land itself is holding its breath again. You tend the chickens, mend the fence, sweep the porch more than it needs sweeping. No new drawings appear. But you catch yourself glancing at the door every morning, half expecting one, half hoping not to find one. Because if she sends another, it means there's still something unfinished. And part of you wants the silence to mean it's done, but the ledger says otherwise. You can feel it from where it sits, wrapped in oilcloth under the bed, not heavy with secrets, heavy with direction. You ride into town the next week, don't know why, nothing pressing. The general store smells the same, turpentine, molasses, dust. Mrs. Kendry nods like you're a neighbor, not a question. You buy flour, nails, and a pencil sharper than any you've owned in years. The man at the counter sees your name on the ledger. He raises an eyebrow. Mitchell? You nod. He leans closer. Someone left a note for that name, last winter. You blink. Who? He shrugs. Didn't ask. She just said, for the one who writes it down. He hands you a folded scrap. You unfold it slowly. It's not a letter, it's a list. Names, 3 of them, all crossed out. Below them, 1 line. The 5th doesn't know she's the 5th yet. You fold it again, tuck it into your coat. Ride home slow, thinking about names. Who owns them? Who carries them? Who never gets the chance? That night, you light a fire without meaning to. Not for warmth, just for presence. The ledger sits on your lap again, open to a blank page. You hesitate, then write, I was never the first. I won't be the last. But I might be the only one who wrote it in daylight. You stop. Look up. The fire flickers. There, on the mantel. A new drawing. You didn't place it. You'd swear it wasn't there yesterday. It's small, simple. 2 figures, one with a braid, one with a coat like yours, and between them, something passing hand to hand. A page, a ring, a key. You don't know which. Maybe it's all 3. And maybe it doesn't matter, because what matters is what's not drawn, the land around them, blank, unwritten, waiting. You pin the drawing to the inside of the pantry door, then step outside into the dark. The air smells of turned soil and wet iron. A storm coming, maybe. You look to the west. And in the faintest glint of moonlight, far off on the ridge, a flicker of movement. Not fire, not shadow, just a figure, standing still, watching. Then gone. You smile, not because you're unafraid, but because you understand. She's not gone, not really. She's just further down the path now, and when she's ready, she'll send someone else. The storm rolls in that night, slow at first, then hard, the kind that hammers tin roofs and turns roads into rivers. You sit by the window, watching lightning carve the sky. The drawing still hangs on the pantry door, edges curling from heat and time. You think of the girl. You think of the man who came for her. You think of all the names written in ledgers no one ever showed to daylight. You think of the way silence travels, how it settles into floorboards, into bloodlines, into the way we speak without saying, and how the drawing shattered that, not with sound, but with sight. The rain doesn't let up for 3 days. You stay busy. Fix the roof patch, repair a hinge, copy 3 more pages from the metal ledger into yours, handwriting careful, precise. It feels right. Like passing something from stone to skin, from forgotten to carried. When the storm breaks, the sky doesn't clear, it just stops. And in that stillness, the first visitor arrives, a girl. Not the same. Younger, red-haired, limp in one leg. She says nothing at first, just stands near your gate. You step outside, offer water. She takes it, then hands you a folded piece of paper. You open it. It's a drawing. A hill, a line of trees, a mark carved into a stone. You look at her. "I don't know this place," you say. She shrugs. "You will." Then she turns and walks away. You don't follow. You just stand there, holding a future someone already drew for you. That night you pin the new drawing beside the old one. The ledger remains open on the table. A breeze shifts its pages, like fingers not ready to stop reading. You write one sentence before bed. The trail doesn't end when it goes quiet. It ends when someone stops drawing it forward. You leave the lamp on, not because you're scared, because the trail might return before morning. And if it does, you want the girl to see the light. You wake to a knock, 3 soft taps, nothing urgent, but enough to set your pulse dancing. You open the door with one hand on the latch. It's not a girl this time, it's a woman, wearing a coat too thin for the season and boots stained red with canyon dust. She carries no bag, just a folded cloth. She doesn't introduce herself, just says, "You're the one with the ledger." You nod. She steps inside without being asked, unfolds the cloth. Inside, 3 rings, each different. One iron, one bone, one gold, split clean through the center. You know them. Not by ownership, by shape, by stories passed in whispers over porches and funerals. She places them on the table, lined up beside the open ledger, sits, then speaks. "We've been waiting for someone who'd stop writing names and start writing memory." You say, "I've only ever written what came." She smiles. "That's why we trust you." She stays for 2 days, sleeps on the floor, eats little, reads only the second ledger, the one etched in metal, Evelyn's. Each time she finishes a page, she closes her eyes and hums something low, and not a tune, a tone, like a signal. You don't interrupt. You just keep writing. On the morning of the 3rd day, she draws something, not on paper. In ash, across the hearthstone, a circle. 5 points. And a mark through the center, broken in 2. You recognize it from the old dream, the map etched on your skin when you woke sweating years ago. You thought it meant danger. She tells you it means passage. A gate not everyone sees. A gate not everyone is meant to open. But someone must hold it steady while others walk through. You stare at the mark until your eyes blur. Then ask what happens if the one holding it lets go. She doesn't look up. Then we forget the names again. She leaves at dusk, doesn't say goodbye, just sets the rings in your hand, all 3. You'll know what to do. You watch her walk toward the ridge. Her shadow grows long across the field, and as she disappears, the wind shifts. Not cold, but final. A door closed, a story sealed. You return to the table. Place the rings on the map you first received from the girl, the one with the unmarked place and the figure waiting by the trees. You trace your finger along the trail she never labeled. Then you add something new. Your name, not just initials. Your full name. The one no one's spoken since your father passed. And beside it, last holder, next drawer. You close the ledger, let the ink dry, and sleep without dreams, not because there's nothing left to see, but because the next part isn't yours, it's waiting for someone else. You wake with a calm you don't recognize. Not peace, exactly, more like stillness with weight, the kind of quiet that follows a story finished, or the beginning of one that no longer belongs to you. The house is as it was. Fire out, rings where you left them, ledger closed, but something's shifted. The air feels lighter. Or maybe you've grown heavier with knowing. You sit at the table, no pen, no need, you just look. At the pages, at the drawings pinned around the room, at the faint scrape across the hearthstone where ash still lingers in the shape of a door. You realize for the first time in a long time, you're not waiting. Not for the girl, not for the next knock, not even for the end. You've become something else. A kind of keeper the stories never mentioned, one who stays after the telling is done, to sweep the porch, to keep the lamp burning, to place the map in a drawer, just in case. Outside, the wind shifts the grass. You walk barefoot through it. The fields are soft with morning, the earth no longer bracing against footsteps. At the edge of the ridge, you find a stone, flat, smooth, pale from time. You don't carve it, you simply sit beside it and rest your palm on its face, not to mark, but to remember, because memory, you've learned, doesn't need ink to live, only witness, only breath, only a hand steady enough not to shake at the truth. You stay until the sun rises high, then you walk back home, no trail behind you, no signpost to guide the next, just trust that they'll feel the draw, and I know where to begin. That night you light one last fire, not for warmth, not even for light, just for rhythm. You sit by the window, ledger shelved, pen capped, and when the wind taps the pane, you smile, because you know the story isn't over. It's just elsewhere now, walking on younger legs, drawing with steadier hands, and when they arrive here, the next child, the next keeper, the next name etched in quiet. They'll find the door unlocked, the pages blank, and a whisper in the wood grain that says, "Welcome, it's yours now."